Hello everyone and welcome. Oh hey Rizlot. God. Right at the moment, the current topics, the very depressing current topics. How are you doing? Welcome to the weekly talk and chat while pew pew. Roughly that, I would say. A lot to do, actually. We're just gonna reroll all the Battle Royale stuff anyway. Simply for just because I generally thought we would see something in these weeks still, but didn't happen. I'm very surprised they haven't talked about season 2 yet, so yeah. But how are you? How was your start into 2026 besides the everything got very bad. Who the fuck turned on voice chat? I mean, that's kind of nice. I just hope my... How have things gotten bad specifically? I mean, you know, the whole Venezuela thing, mainly. And everything around that. Yeah, for me, it's like, I fucking ripped my nail, on Saturday. So, I really hope until the weekend it's healed enough that I can play, games with a controller again, but... Yeah, like 1/4 of it is just gone at the top, and it's just like, ow! Unfun. It's getting better, like I'm already in a state of... I can do some stuff, like, that's why I'm currently just mainly playing mouse and keyboard stuff, because it's my right thumb, it can just rest on the mouse, so nice. But yeah, that was my start into the year. It was fun, I'd say. But yeah. But yeah, otherwise, we're basically looking at... Oh, wow, from the left also. It's all pretty depressing right now. And, I mean, let's just be real here. It is It is mask off, and maybe that might actually change shit how people approach it, but it's just like I said this before. The problem right now is more like what will happen next, because this will probably not stay at that stable. Nice. I have the 2000. Ooh. Like, I don't know. In the end, how much support they actually have now, but like, this is all about, you know, in the end, what Venezuelans want, but I kind of hate the fact that we're currently talking about, oh, what should be done, what should be done. I'm like, I don't know, maybe, you know, even on for the good things, maybe the West shouldn't decide on that. We have done enough fuckery in that country. That country, that continent especially. For like the past centuries, actually. It's just my very mild take of, I don't know. Then again, so much doesn't seem to have actually changed, because... Oh, Maduro's gone, but like... Now just the second command and everything is still intact, and it's like, okay. So what's gonna change now? Yeah. Like, the dumb thing about this is... And, I think, ironically, Zelensky actually put it pretty well. Like, if, let's say, the USA can just apprehend dictators, you know, apparently, you know, they can just fly in, catch them, and take them out of the country without major problems. They should know their next target. And, you know, the thing is, on some level, you could say this is an approval. And, you know, I mean, on some level it is, because, you know, the guy is still very much relying on the fact that the USA and, you know, European partners give them money. But the thing is, it's also kind of calling out how fake all of this feels. Because, like, how the fuck were they able to do that? This was too easy, too clean, you know? I mean, even... Like, if we go through history, and this wasn't... There weren't, like... You know, this isn't, like, the only time the USA tried to do that. Like, again, best example is Panama. But, like, they fought back, just saying. Remember what they, that they made completely new bunker buster bombs just to get to, Saddam Hussein in the first Gulf War, and it's like, okay. You know, but suddenly they were just able to just fly into a country without the military doing anything really, not even the slightest bit of pushback, and just grab the lead, elect the leader. It's okay. I don't know if we can talk about, because it, like, the whole we just kidnapped the Pope through dialogue screen, and just like, yeah, that's not wrong. It definitely feels just very like, no, no way you did that. No. That's at least my take on this. Like, it feels too clean. Like, there has been some dealing going on in the background. Especially since, you know, if this was about disposing actually, you know, a dictatorship, and I mean, like, I know Venezuelans. Maduro kind of was that. Like, they definitely wanted him gone, but that's a different topic. The thing is just, oh yeah, if this was about that, oh, interesting how the opposition leader was not even considered to be put into power, but apparently... Okay, do we want to talk about the whole thing that he just said he didn't consider giving them any power because she didn't refuse the Nobel Peace Prize? Are we gonna talk about that? And of the fact that, like, when is everyone in the USA just maybe waking up and be like, maybe we should just remove this child from office? Because that happened. So, people were actually asking Trump, like, okay, hey, why didn't you, you know, actually support the opposition? And you see, the opposition leader won the Nobel Peace Prize in the beginning of the year, and then also tried to appease Trump, probably because she was like, maybe he gets rid of Maduro, who knows? And now, you know, they have put basically the vice president in power. And when asked, oh, why not the opposition? He was just like, well, she sucks because, you know, she got a prize I deserved and she didn't refuse it, so fuck her. And I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here? It's just a fucking... Like, here's the thing. Obviously... So few things here. He obviously didn't fucking care about Venezuela. That's Marco Rubio's shit. He wanted the oil. That's why they just talk weird shit. But also the moment it's about politics, he just makes it personal because, well, he wanted that that Nobel Peace Prize because... Listen, I keep saying, and I said this before, elections are not binding to the people of a country. Elections are just a process to decide who would run technically the country from this point onward until a certain set point in time. If the people of the country are unfavorable think a favor of them, they can dispose of that. That is your democratic right. The only upside, the mask is tricky. I mean, was the mask really on still? This is more the question. Like, it was kind of off the whole time. It's just like, I think more like the last gullible person is probably like really seeing it now. But yeah. Oh, damn it. I definitely need someone to help me with that bullshit because, like, oh, get headshot because beyond 125 meters in a match as Ricky. No! No, I don't want. I hate sniping. I want to fucking finish this goddamn assignment line. But fuck me. No. I hate the fact that Recon is so just so pushed around sniping. It's so stupid. Yeah, fair. It was also kind of off globally, but yeah. But hey, not that we had a whole... so what about Greenland now? Oh yeah, we totally need Greenland. Hey, European Union, you should maybe also, place some troops in Greenland. Just saying. Like France, maybe? Like, I know that currently Germany is, like, upgrading the whole land army because of Ukraine, and that's understandable, but like France, you have like you're the amphibious ones here together with Italy and Britain, so I don't know, maybe send over one of your carriers. We kinda need them. Ah. You know, I say while I play the funny modern military game. Territorial expansionism. Simple as that. Same reason he wants Canada. He wants, like, he wants to be the best president, quote unquote. So he thinks if he actually delivers on territorial expansion, everyone will see that. It's just very old jingoism. It's adjacent to them, and it's not the ones they're racist about, so it should be them. That's it. There we go. #1 recon EU. But actually putting down the tracer darts so people can shoot tanks. No one does that. So yeah, on a mission on darting all the vehicles. But yeah, it's just about territorial expansion. Simple as that. He's just like, I'm gonna be great if I add new stuff to the country, and yeah, I feel you. I mean, honestly, last year I joked with someone about moving to Germany, and I think he could have if he still had his remote job, because like unironically, like, everything would be like half the price. So, I mean, Canada's probably the easier option, I get that. Still. Yeah, I'm just... I'm really not blaming you for that. It's just actually common sense at this point. You know? Like, oh yeah, shit's going to be gutted, everything is fucked. Sucks, like, yeah, move. I think it's similar here. You just also need to show that you learned German, so like that might just be harder, and you would need to, you know, travel across the Atlantic, and kind of have a job, etc. But yeah, ironically, if you work in tech and even work remote, you can actually just do that here. So I know going to the Netherlands, those are very, very easy though. I don't know how, but they are very easy to get into actually. If you ever think of just crossing the Atlantic, Netherlands, I think you just, let me just put it. There was some law they had where they were like, if you you know, if you have like something, you can just come over. Let me just look it up. I can't find it right now. Sorry. Yeah, small business permit. It's something, I'd say. Would be something, and also you would live in the one country where you can ride your bike everywhere. That's stop side. I mean, actually, a lot of people also drive their bike here. Like, fun fact. So Agnolia and I, we kind of do like midnight walks recently, just, you know, just for health reasons. It's nice. And it snowed really heavily. Like, We're currently like actually having really nice snow. Absolutely nice. It's like the first time in years where we have like actually like a few like at least maybe 30 centimeters high snow that just stays. It's amazing. It's like really nice. It crunches beneath your feet, etc. But it also made it so that while usually there was something going on always at night, silence. Ew. Yeah, no, I can say at least where I live, it's like, don't fucking worry about that. This is like we live in that town where if you meet someone on the street at midnight, they rather just ask you about the time because they're like, "Whoop, I forgot my clock somewhere." We had that. We had someone just be like, "Hey, how late is it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's that." And they're like, "Oh, okay, nice. Have a nice day." That was it. Yeah, funny enough, no one drove, because usually you see like 1 or 2 cars. Nope, not even on the big road. Everyone just stays home because they're like, oh no, it's snow on the road. And so, but you know who was out there? Someone who was just like, oh boy, 3 a.m., time to drive my bicycle through the fucking snow. And like, yeah, hell yeah, dude. You drive your bicycle through the fucking snow. I have no context of having ever seen so. It's nah. I mean, okay, it depends. Like, okay, here's the thing. Snow has multiple layers. Okay, like just driving on compacted snow, that's not hard. That's like actually the best way to drive when it snowed. Like, there's a reason in, for example, in Finland. In some cities, they actually, they do not clear the snow away. They actually just compact it and then shine all the road signs onto it. So, if you drive your bike, you can just drive onto the compacted snow. That is actually completely doable. The thing is just sometimes beneath compacted snow, like if there can be an ice layer, and if the snow is not there between you and that ice layer, well, still not that hard. Just you need to watch out, I would say. Like a little bit of you need to drive at a certain speed, have some solid balance, and then it works out actually. Nice. Yeah, otherwise, no. But driving your bicycle in snow is actually not that hard, surprisingly. So... I mean, yeah, if you move to Canada, you would start to encounter pretty a lot, actually. I mean, snow is nice, really. Oh yeah, e-bikes are a big thing. Like, I think e-bikes have, e-bikes have especially taken off in the Netherlands, but they are very big here already. Like, as said, we don't really have like the best or the most expanded bike infrastructure, but people, like, if you go outside, you will see someone driving an e-bike or a cargo bike in some form. it's definitely a thing where it's like people want to ditch the car and they do it no matter what. And that's also why they're currently starting to build more bike lanes. I can tell you how good they work because fun fact, I never drove one. I kind of, hey, fun fact, I actually kind of wish I had one when I was a child. Like, so, where I grew up, from my village to the city, my village was basically on a very relatively steep hillside. So if you wanted to get to the city, the most direct, like there was an old road around, but they built a new one right across. And so when I was young, I actually was in swim club and like actually pretty. Didn't let himself get killed. Just turn around at that point. Yeah, but like basically the swim club and hall was on the other side of the hill. So I had to actually pedal up and then over and down. And so basically every time before I came there for training, which was like 3 times a week, I had a full fucking workout already. But yeah, it was fun. So yeah, in the end, that was just a lot of cycling up and down a mountain. And everyone is nowadays, oh yeah, you know, we now have the bikes with like small motors in it. And they just really help you get over those inclines. And just being like, it's good for you. It's really nice for you. Fucking weaklings of today can't cycle over shitty hills alone. With their backs on the back. Not bitter. I'm not bitter. It's just a thing. Yeah, snow's currently really nice. I think we will get another big snowfall later this week. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that. Well, halfway actually. God damn it. Well, yeah. It's interesting to see, to hear that I mean, you know what, I'm not that surprised to hear that e-bikes are becoming more popular. I feel like, especially with e-bikes, it has become more and more this whole, a lot of people have realized they, you know, like, aside from the fact, that a lot of people are lazy, you know, like, they do the whole, I joke about the whole I cycled across that fucking hill, and truth be told, it was painful. Like, there were days where I just hated it because I was just wasted, and yet it was like, if I wanted to get home, I had to climb that hill with my bike. So, it's just not a nice thing to do after you know, already exhausted yourself for hours. But yeah, I think e-bikes are just one of those things where, you know, with relatively low cost, you can actually expand your reach without actually needing to, you know, invest in a car, don't have that much space, and, you know, it works relatively well everywhere, you know, not in the sense of, you know, oh, is there the best bike infrastructure and stuff. Like, I think if that was the case, more people would use it anyway. But in general, just the fact that even in a car-centric, like, again, I was growing up pretty rural. There was always a certain car centricity there, and yet we there we have the takedown. We need one for the stream. Where are you? Oof. Let's see. Oh, there. Like, it was relatively car focused. There were some bike paths, you know, mostly ones on like old railway lines and stuff. So it was there, but, well, let me put it like this. The whole you could just drive your bike was always a suggestion for children, because a lot of parents were just like, I don't want to, you know, drive you, but you have a bike. So if you want to go somewhere, you can use your bike. And then I did. Like, it's not that I couldn't get around. It was just like more of the whole, how much are you willing to do today? Like, and I think the whole, I think the willingness of the range that you can put in with e-bikes actually matches way closer most car drives nowadays than what normal bikes are. Not, you know, in the sense that, you know, normal bikes couldn't do that. Quite the opposite. Again, most people have done that for years, but it's more the perceived comfort. Like, you know, if you know that even if it gets tough, it will never get too tough. You know, you don't need to suddenly, like, actually put in that much work, but, you know, you put in some work and it is good for your health and you save on petroleum. Well, that that is actually very appealing. I think that is genuinely why a lot of people just went on to buy cargo bikes and buy e-bikes, because I think suddenly they could, in their mind, actually make that cut off. Okay, yeah, no, I can drive that distance with a bike. You know, it's not gonna be too uncomfortable. As stupid as that sounds, I do think e-bikes are solving a problem of comfort, not a problem of you know, not like like a problem of just, you know, getting over hills, etc. Like, people can get over hills, especially the more you drive your bike, the easier you can get over hills. Period. It's just comfort. And if you feel like you can get up a hill with relative comfort, well, then the cheaper option to, you know, revving up the car, guzzling gas, etc., 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 well, that suddenly becomes very, very, very appealing. Okay, at least that is my take on the whole thing. So. Why did she exit? This was almost perfect. No. This could have been a clip for the ages, but why? Let's do this one again. Okay, you painted, idiot. Like, that's why I darted you, both of you. Everyone on my team is now like, ooh, there are some juicy tanks to, obviously look in my direction. Yeah. I don't know. I think there will be more bikes, because I think at some point people just... I think people are just also tired of cars. I know this probably is a pretty weird take to make, but I just genuinely think people are tired of cars. Like, ever think about the fact that cars are just a hassle? Like, sure, back when you could just have one relatively cheap, and gas was cheap, etc. Sure. It was just a thing you used, okay? It's just everything catched up at some point. Like, at some point, the insurance wasn't cheap anymore. The gas wasn't cheap anymore. Car maintenance wasn't cheap anymore. Also, let's just not forget, driving sucks. Like, I'm sorry. if you have driven or have been driven any point in your life, you will have experienced a traffic jam. No one likes traffic jams. And traffic jams just keep happening. Especially in those places where you are, you know, where everyone cannot just expect to rely on a car. And I can guarantee you, everyone that switches to a bike realize at some point there were never traffic jams when you were on a bike. Never. So, yeah. Why stand in a traffic jam for hours when you could drive a bike? And that's such a legitimate question that the answer was for a lot of people, yeah, why? The fuck was that? What the hell was that? Oh well. I'm still surprised that we haven't heard about anything that is coming for the game soonish. Okay, that seems to be a bug. Interesting. Interesting. Switch the mode a bit. I have done a lot of conquest recently because I'm slowly working my way through the class assignments. You know, only missing one, and then yeah, nice. Also, all the major modes already done. Oh god. Yeah, I really do not play a lot of stuff like... I mean, Team Deathmatch Domination can go die in a pitch, in my opinion. I know where they have them. Get some rush going again. I haven't done that in a while. Actually, probably the best mode in the game right now, in my opinion. Like, rush is shockingly good. Wait, but God. Yeah, I'm basically very surprised they haven't talked about season 2 yet. I know everyone's on leave, and like I was generally sure they would have done a remake map at this point, but well, we'll see how everything else looks. They seem to have problems. So bye bot. I mean, you know, maybe they will talk about it tomorrow on Thursday? Maybe? Hmm. God. I feel like I'm really not getting the tiredness out of my brain today. Like, I'm genuinely tired today, and it's weird. Like, usually I'm way more active. And, you know, I can think, but today it's just like something fucks me up majorly. And it's not nice. Unya, could you maybe get me another cup of cola?
Yes.
I think else I'm just gonna fucking fall over and die. Why? Okay. Das ist so lieb von dir. Thank you.
We're tracking you outside the combat zone.
They pushed badly. Yeah, hey John, evening. How was your start into 2026? Yeah, I don't know. Today I was just like tired on a level. Technically I slept enough. And I was also tired in the afternoon. And now tired still in the evening. And like to a degree that's good because I kind of need to get up tomorrow very early, but also I don't know what's going on here. My brain just decided, nah, fuck you. Can I say that it's actually very funny that in modern games, you know, the stuff that is the equivalent to a Molotov cocktail is not an anti-vehicle grenade. Ever thought about that? Like, I know nowadays like the Molotov gets associated with, you know, oh, it's basically the area denial weapon. Like you throw it and it leaves like this field of fire on the ground. And like, yeah, but they were probably used beforehand. But specifically, Molotov cocktails were made by Finnish troops to counter Soviet tanks during, you know, the Winter War. And by the way, if you're wondering why they are called Molotov cocktails, it's actually kind of funny. See, basically, the Soviets were saying, "Oh no, we're just dropping like supply packages for civilians over Finland," and the Finns were like, "Those are bombs. If those are supply packages, you know what? We need a fitting cocktail for that." And because that was, the I don't know, a minister called the name of the minister that said that was Molotov, that's why they called it Molotov cocktail, because it's the perfect cocktail to with those bombs, and that stuck. Imagine going down in history because your propaganda sucks ass. Oh yeah, what's everyone's games they are looking forward to? Like, just fucking stealing that from Midas that asked me that today. Just like, what are your top 5 games for 2026 that you're looking forward to? If you want to know my list, Neo 3, Romeo's the Dead Man, Resident Evil 9, Pragmata, and Dawn of War 4. Those are like the 5. I don't even know if I have more than those 5, but I think it's a pretty good list, even though most of them will just be in February, April, and then who knows when. I did sign up for tests, so like I do hope that I can try out Dawn of War 4, but I am still very much I'm very it's gonna be interesting what they do. Like, I said this before, definitely looks like they want to do Dark Crusade 2.0, which I'm very much on board, actually. Crusade was a fantastic expansion. So, yeah. Give me Dark Crusade 2.0. If it's good, very much down. Okay, you know what? I mean, this isn't really a game, but yeah, I mean, I feel like the expansion pass for Wiki 3 this year is also on our list, considering we also have the expansion pass for... We already have the expansion pass for Age of Wonders 4. And I'm still looking forward to what they release there, really. Like, I feel like Age of Wonders 4 and Wiki 3 are currently like the 2 Paradox games that are just working. I mean, EU5 just kind of managed to have a launch that was, that can be described as, what are you doing? EU5, what are you just doing here? Like, we started it, and I'm like, this is fun. And then, like, 2 days later, we're like, but what if it was not fun? Like, why? You had a few things that worked. Why? What are you doing? Why are you doing? That first month of EU5 really was just a shit show for the ages in terms of patching. But yeah, Wiki 3, I'm cautionary optimistic. Like, I don't think they so far had one year that I disliked. I think to a degree it was always the, well, this is great and they can do more stuff with that. and you kind of want the stuff, but it's not here. Anyway, naval rework. That, oh my god! Here's the thing. Naval rework could either go amazing or horrible, and I don't even want to say in which ways, because it can be so many. On one hand, it could just go horrible with simply micromanagement. I think Wiki 3 so far is still relatively nice in terms of micromanagement. It's too fiddly in some cases, but they acknowledge that. So who knows? I know some fiddliness will probably always be there with a game that tries to do this much of a magnitude of things. So, like, I'm not saying remove all the fiddliness. No, it's just a thing. You know, you can't completely unfiddle a big game. And I'd say Wiki 3 already is way better than most games, like, even compared to EU5. And EU5 already did pretty well, actually. Wiki 3 just is better. There we go. Are you fucking kidding me? Good. Like, here's the thing. What could go wrong with Naval? Yeah, on one hand, it could just become too fiddly. Period. That's a simple thing. But they know some stuff is too fiddly, so maybe they work against that. It could just be horrible on tech level. Like, Wiki 3 is really not the best one when it comes to the Clausewitz engines for performance. But they also said, hey, we know that our tech kinda sucks, and we want to integrate more things from the newer games. So basically, they want to implement tech from EU5 into Wiki 3, which is like, good. EU5 is running actually really well. So, good thing they have exchange on that. So, I don't know, maybe it's... hey, they somehow always manage to actually be like, here's a new feature, and then it just turned out to be... and the game just kind of ran better to a degree somehow. Like, the game performance isn't perfect in the end. But I would lie if I'd say Wiki 3 hasn't actually been improved in terms of performance.
But there's still one problem they can run into.
Yeah.
So, right now, you can build ships really fast, but they take a long time to man up. So, depending on how important ships will become, you will need to build a lot of them.
Yeah.
To rebuild the navy, and so on and so forth. So the difference in your build power since game start will be even more exacerbated. That could be an effect.
Yeah. It's like, there's so much, there are so many pitfalls that could be with that, and it's like, but on a certain level, I'm just like, yeah, I really wish them the best for that update, because, yeah, to a big degree, the importance of ships in naval warfare during that time was literally that you had a ship, and a ship itself was like already a major power projection. It only became, after during World War II, where it was like, whoop, here's like, you know, oh yeah, battleship good, but you need a whole battle group for that. Like, back before that they were smaller because not everyone had dreadnoughts until, you know, World War One. Hey, Anna, how are you doing? Welcome to the chat. Why do we keep getting into defense? Holy shit. So yeah, I'm actually, there's a lot of stuff they could run into there, but like I said, I genuinely hope the ship rework is going well, because this is one of those moments where I will say the historical aspect, in my opinion, is actually really quite interesting. Nice. I heard that a lot of people are nowadays grinding World of Warcraft Classic. Like, I find it so interesting to actually see this development, because like, so I've always been saying that a lot of people always were like, oh, you know, MMOs are just like that, and no one would really like to play old MMOs, and then, you know, World of Warcraft Classic came out, and turns out a lot of people that never played Classic suddenly went like, wait, this is better than the new one. And, you know, RuneScape Classic, old school RuneScape got a revival. Like, I'm still surprised we haven't seen that for Ragnarok Online, but Ragnarok Online is mismanaged to hell and back. But I do find it interesting how Classic came out, but now Classic is actually also played a lot in hardcore, which is just, like, the hardcore servers were a niche back in the day. Yeah. That was always the biggest strength of Classic, you know, EverQuest and World of Warcraft. This, you actually, like, it's always so funny to me, because I had a discussion with someone once, and they said they dislike MMOs because, you know, well, MMOs are just always like, you just grind your way to a top and then there's an end game. And I was like, no. And they're like, what? Like, no. That's just the new ones. Every old MMO was about the journey upwards. Like, in like World of Warcraft, you were never expected to do raids. Sure, like, they were there if you wanted to. That's a big difference. They were there if you wanted to do raids. There were good raids, fun raids, enjoyable raids. But you needed a group. And you definitely needed someone to, you know, you needed a group that was actually, you know, organized and well maintained. And also you needed to talk to people. You couldn't just press a button and like, whoop, I'm in a group now. It also meant that all of the dungeons and raids were just like way harder to a degree. And it was fun. I actually need to get in here. Similar how, you know, in Ragnarok Online it was, hey, getting your character level up was, yeah, it's a game where you just 99.9% kill enemies, but how do you kill the enemies most effectively, and what kind of build do you make out of that? That was the cool part. Then you could just do random bullshit, and it was amazing. But yeah, around... I feel like really with Mist of Pandaria and Wrath of the Lich King is kind of already... I think everyone just shifted because they were like, oh, but people always talk about the endgame, so everyone wants to play the endgame. And that just ironically fed back into World of Warcraft, which is so funny to me because this definitely came from free-to-play games. Because getting people into the end game is part of a Skinner box, and I'm sorry, World of Warcraft, you have a subscription. your best move would be to be the one that doesn't do the Skinner box bullshit. That's fair. I mean, I just find it interesting because, you know, hardcore was like definitely a side thing back in the day. And it's just very interesting to see how hardcore nowadays actually just takes over World of Warcraft. Yeah, I hate that. There's so much bad design ideas in there because, like, and people are like, oh, but you know, it's not bad when an MMO has a subscription, sells expansion, has a subscription, and you know, oh, the shop is just cosmetic. Shut up. Everything in a cosmetic shop could be an item you gain through gameplay. This crossover. And but then again, God, why is that's also a big thing about, you know, because let me just put it like this. There are a lot of people who do not want to actually put effort into playing games. And one of the big things about MMOs and MMO cosmetics was you got them through, you know, gameplay. Achievements. Like, the coolest armor in an MMO was not there, wasn't just something you buy, it was something you got because, you know, you finished the hardest raid multiple times. Or had, like, another, like, gigantic thing. Like, for example, getting the Obsidian armor set in Guild Wars 1, that was a goddamn, that was a journey. But if you had it, you had the bragging right. And, you know, some people realized, hey, there are people that would pay us money for that. Yep. And there you have your problem. That's the thing, I like MMOs, and I'm very much in the sense that if people actually made classic MMOs again with smaller scopes, those would be really popular. You just, you know, need to know who you're doing it for, and also, quite crucially, I would say, do not have an in-game shop and have a reasonable subscription. Like, there are a lot of MMOs I think a lot of people would play if they didn't have an in-game shop, and you paid like $5 a month. That would be acceptable for a lot of people. Like that's a subscription price where a lot of people are like, yeah, you know what, I can shell that out. And then, you know, also crucially, make a game, like, also make a game that isn't like, oh, you need to dedicate your goddamn life to it, which is the old, what the old MMOs were. Like, oh yeah, they took time to actually get where you want to do, but the point was not that you went to the top as fast as possible. The point was that you took your time and experienced the world. It was specifically made that you... There is a play a 20-year-old game for a month. It's just kind of hard to just... I think it's generally hard to justify for a lot of MMOs, actually. Like, even the big modern ones, like, I'm gonna say it, I don't think Final Fantasy XIV is worth €12 a month, even though I like it. It's the one modern one I really like, actually, and... No, that's just fucking expensive. Now, if the €12 would include Final Fantasy XI, like literally, I would be down to debate, because then I would maybe even get it twice again. And what?
And they need to remove their shop.
They need, yeah, again. Sorry, if you want to have a subscription, remove your shop. Period. Period. It's just like, yeah, you want a good game, you can just sit down and make us the simple, like, I think MMOs nowadays are ironically just always die of scope creep. Like, they're basically they look great, but are very hollow. And then their whole systems are just built around you paying money. And I think the ones, the free-to-play games that actually stay afloat and people actually want to play are usually those where the whole what you pay money for is much simpler. Like, for example, Warframe. I haven't played it in a while, but like every few months buying a bit of platinum to have, your storage extended, that's fine. 12 euros a month, and I'm not even playing it a lot of times, which, by the way, I do think games should be designed in a way that, you can put it down if you don't want to. Like, especially online games. It's just a... Yeah. And MMO talk. I haven't had that in a while.
All call signs. Comms units under threat. Defensive positions on the double.
No, it's not a problem. I just find it very funny how this channel sometimes just always, aims for certain topics. Yeah, that's probably the thing I feel is the dumbest part. Because like people, from what I know, people like 14 for a good reason, even though there's like also very much valid criticism. It's just well, just make better, just make games that sell better to a degree. Like, you're just fucking up in some major ways. As of now.
People seem to be fine with Skinner boxes, basically.
Which is...
In other words,
let me put it like
people
this.
have no standards.
You know what? I actually would disagree with that. Because if you actually look at the factual numbers of MMOs, every time an MMO gets more and more into Skinner box design, the player numbers drop. This also goes for like nearly every single multiplayer game. Obviously, the devs were like, then say, look how we still make money and all that. But like, the thing is, it's always a shift from the mass to the whales. Like, for example, World of Warcraft had its peak player numbers before Mist of Pandaria and Apocalypse. And it's just... people did not like the whole, hey, we just simplified the game and made, removed choices, and, now there's there are in-game shops and all that. And it's like, sure, people keep playing, and especially if it's a big game, there is a big number of people, but their numbers are dropping, so a lot of people just moved on to different games.
You're not wrong. But at the same time, the people who stay, obviously, are the people who are most affected by things like sunken cost fallacy and similar things. So as long as they get them, there isn't really a reason to change anything.
Oh yeah, that sucks. Like, until they do something that really pisses them off, no reason to really change. But yeah, it's just this whole I don't know how to put it in the best way. I do think a lot of people are leaving games the more they become, repetitive Skinner boxes.
They should.
Yeah.
Take it. Going.
Where am I? Blah. It's just, I don't know what is going on with my body today. It just kind of wants to kill me, you know?
Oh, you're very tired.
Yeah, but that's stupid. Why? No. It didn't even... Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anna, what are your, like, top 5 games you look forward to in 2026? Or less? I don't know. Ah. God damn it. He's still lying there.
What?
Yeah, too humid. God, I don't know if MMOs. I mean, it's so funny how people say, you know, things are over. I just think certain. I have to be safe before I answer. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, MMO talk is a recurring thing in this channel.
We like MMOs, and I think I do think there is a lot of stuff about MMOs where I mean people like them. I just think certain other games have taken that place to a degree until, you know, they also got kind of worse. Like High Destiny. How is it going in the mines? Still sucking? Honestly, I feel you to a degree. It's probably just more like...
It's fun if you have someone to compete against.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a rhythm game, and with a cool controller. I will not hate on Guitar Hero.
And some weird name controls.
What?
And some weirdly named controls, if I remember correctly.
Okay. I don't
Earlier
remember.
they used some music jargon to describe certain things you would do with the controller, and it's not really how it actually works. It's a bit annoying if you actually know to play guitar, but
The musician is,
not the musician.
you know how to play guitar.
A
I mean,
bit.
you know what? I would probably have felt the same if there was like Piano Hero, but like, yeah. Well, actually went rather well. I mean, there are always some games or genres where you wish they would not have been, they would just not be as dead as they are. Like, I actually bought I found in our store Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles recently. I was just like, let's get that. I still think like at least some maybe off-brand like pistol attachments, because like, I mean, it's a light gun shooter. You want to have a light gun pistol in your hand for that? I mean, still, I kind of want to also get the one, the official one, because I got actually inspired. I keep being on the Fender side. Like, that maybe this year I actually will, remove our Wii U from the TV, build it up here, and then actually make a, stream some Wii games on it. Because I just realized there are some games that, definitely should be shown on stream. Like, for example, Patrick was streaming the other day, The Conduit. Those are 2 games I think everyone should have seen in their life. They are insane. Like, literally someone was like, let's make Halo for the Wii. But it's like, it's basically National Treasures. And Alex Jones is yelling at you through the radio. And then the second one just... I kind of don't want to spoil the ending, but I don't know if most of you would even be there for the ending for the Conduit 2. It's like...
You should not spoil.
It is... Holy shit, it is something.
We're talking about drones. They would like to be more prolific than they are.
Yeah.
I think there are 2. First of all, the obvious. I want RTS to get back on their feet.
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah. Please, more Subcom inspiration. Stop copying StarCraft. It's a mediocre game.
Ooh, you definitely made some friends here.
Yeah, I make lots of friends wherever I go.
Yes.
They follow me with pitchforks and stuff. Very happy. And a genre I technically hate, but I would like to have, like there to be more, so that it would be explored more and would get different mechanics. We talked about it yesterday.
Oh yeah, right.
Not on stream because we didn't stream. Dating games.
Yeah,
I hate dating games.
I still said you should definitely try Tokimeki Memorial. Try it. Fucking Iga wrote the thing. It's worthwhile.
But if you tell me there's a mechanic, okay?
Yeah.
Where I have to interact with everyone at certain intervals to keep them from not being a bitch. Okay? Then I'm like, okay, then there are bitches generally, so why would I hang out with them? And even if I would give you that, it would still mean the game is basically telling me behave socially like you expected to. First of all, I hate that. Don't want to. Also, it would just turn into, okay, talk to girl 1 to X and repeat. I don't like it.
So basically, you want a dating game where being an antisocial weirdo has the can give you the best girl with the autism riz.
Yeah. Why isn't that? For example,
Actually, yeah, that's a missing market. Like
like a lot of dating games to me, I know it's really hard to write all those branching dialogues, but they often feel like you need to talk after the characters you. And that often even leads me to even characters I originally liked a bit to kind of hate them. Because they basically will only ever fall in love with you in those games if you say exactly what they want to hear.
yeah,
Which, the easiest way to write that, it would be a lot of work to do it any other way, but it has a very detracting effect for me in terms of fun.
I get you.
I mean, yeah, the
Fair
answers
point.
the answers in Baldur's Gate are, yeah.
That is actually fair.
Problem is I wasn't really interested in them, like, to pursue any romantic work. I wanted to be murder buddies with Asterion, and he just kind of broke.
And you're just like, oh, you definitely want to fuck? No! You were definitely like, no, fuck off.
And when I told him, no, I don't want to fuck, he was like, yeah, okay, let's reset my character, I guess.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Then he became a stronger vampire and decided to I don't know, plan to take over the world. I'm like, yay, we can take over the world together. I like to be murdering people with you. That was fun.
Then you became a mind flayer and pissed yourself.
Yeah. Good story.
I love how the duality of our. By the way, we streamed it co-op, and it was like on one hand you have like the noble knight / Landsknecht character who's like I'm here for you, Shadowheart, and everything is fine. And on the other hand, it's like I want to kill people. Peace yourself.
I want art supplies. The Dark Urge is fun. It detracts from the horrendous gameplay.
God, yeah. I mean, Resident Evil 9, I'm still torn. I still want to play it. It looks good, but, yeah, I just have some fears about Ashley Graham. I do find it funny, though, how Resident Evil 9 just fucking ignores what happened at 8. Like, okay, here's the thing. To a degree, okay, I get which team probably worked on it. But on the other hand, I still find it so hilarious because, you had, you basically had Resident Evil, 7 and 8 with the Funky Fungus people. And honestly, even great character. Top 3 Resident Evil characters. He's amazing, okay? And 8 was kind of great. And then, you had the whole expansion with Rose, and you were like, okay. You kind of knew where this was going, and now it's like, oh, so you're playing the daughter. It's like, of one of the characters from Resident Evil Outbreak, and like, what? I mean, listen, I know Outbreak. I mean, a lot of people don't know Outbreak. That's an odd choice. Like, like, especially, again, the mainline revival was basically with, the Winters and Chris Redfield, and now it's just like, oh yeah, it's Ashley Graham and Leon S. Kennedy. I'm like, okay, Resident Evil 4 team, what are you doing? So Resident Evil 4 remake team, what are you doing here? Outbreak is actually pretty cool. You will not be able to play it. See, there was this time, and I think a lot of people really missed it, where Capcom, so there was the PlayStation 2, and the thing about the PlayStation 2 was it had an attachment so that you actually could play online. Like, that was its big feature. It wasn't like the first console to do that. That was, the Dreamcast, but still, the PlayStation 2, like, you could plug in a hard drive and a LAN port, and you could play games online. So, what happened basically was that a bunch of Japanese companies, especially Sega and Capcom, were like, okay, we should definitely make some games that capitalize on that specific feature. And one of the series that came from that, is Monster Hunter. Because Monster Hunter 1 and 2 are MMOs. No, seriously. Like, there is technically a hub, but like, Monster Hunter 1 and 2 were literally designed around the idea that you have a village, but it is, if you enter high rank, you were supposed to go and play online. Like, that's, by the way, if you ever played Monster Hunter Tri, by the way, same structure. I I can actually stress that how much try is actually just Monster Hunter. Like, oh. Monster Hunter Try is kind of like, you know, Gen 3 of Pokemon, Gen 3 Pokemon for Monster Hunter to a degree. It's just like, here's like a completely new set of regions, because like in 1 and 2 they kind of had a bit of overlap, like complete new set of regions, complete new ideas for regions, complete new set of monsters to fight, like no overlap, even though it's kind of funny that, you know, oh, we have underwater combat now. What do you mean the one water wyvern in this series is not in the game? What have you done, Capcom, here? So, you know, they just kind of, and it's like, oh yeah, and there's a new online hub town for you to explore and play it, and like, that's why you can't really play Monster Hunter Try anymore, because, well, it was to a degree to be designed that you played it online. And it made you trans. Anyway.
I like that one.
You know what? I hate the fact that this is just a joke that keeps on giving. It just works. Like, yeah. But yeah, and one of the other games that happened, because like, listen, if there is a new Capcom series, it developed to a degree from a Resident Evil project. I think even Monster Hunter did, because obviously it developed from a Resident Evil project. I would, you know, it wouldn't even surprise me if Pragmata was also a Resident Evil project at some point in time. You know, nowadays everyone's like, oh, this is definitely a Mega Man game. This was a Resident Evil game at some point. Period. That's Capcom. Like, listen, I think even the new Mega Man game was probably a Resident Evil side-scroller at some point. Anyway, but yeah. One of the games they made for that was Outbreak, and Outbreak is kind of fascinating because basically it is classic Resident Evil, like, you know, fixed camera perspective, you know, everything you know basically from Resident Evil Remake, but it's 4-player co-op. So with the whole, you know, you have different survivors and different scenarios to get through. Yeah, this was actually the first co-op Resident Evil game with 4 players. And let's be real here, I hate that we never got a new Outbreak style game. It's set during how's it called? You know, Raccoon City. That's why it's called Outbreak, because, you know, it's the one outbreak they had. But yeah.
Fascinating.
What?
Frustrating.
Why?
I'm trying to find out what burnt human smells like.
Yeah, they basically made 2 Outbreak games, and I mean, technically you could get them running over an emulator again. That might actually be an interesting stream project, now that I think about it. Problem is, who could I get into a group for fucking Outbreak? Yeah. No, it's a very interesting small series. So yeah, this is why I'm like, that's the oddest choice, because everyone was like, yeah, Rose Winters is gonna be the next protagonist, obviously. Like, I mean, fucking Ethan hands her to Chris. And you're like, oh yeah. It's just like, yeah, obviously. Like, Chris is gonna be a dad, finally. Like, what was this again? Like, it's so funny, like, Leon, you have to have sex with my sister, you have to continue the Redfield bloodline, and then Ethan Winters is just like, whoa, baby be upon ye. It is interesting. I can highly recommend it. But yeah, oh well.
The enemy has set explosives on Bravo.
Let me just actually... Wow. I have to admit I haven't played Resident Evil 7 and 8, so basically nothing about the lore. I've ever seen playing the remakes of it. You know what? I can recommend them. They're really not bad. Okay, honestly, I'm pretty on the newer train for Resident Evil right now, but like, I'd be lying if I said I was not wishing back some of the old games. Like, here's the thing. I like Resident Evil 4 Remake, and I think this is kind of weirdly divisive for people because, like, yeah, the original one was better. Here. Oh, yeah, now that I think about it. Holy shit, you know what I can also stream if I put the Wii U up here?
Hmm?
Resident Evil 4 on the Wii!
Huh.
It would be banger to play, actually. Holy shit. If you ever want to see Resident Evil played with motion controls that isn't a light gun. Like, there are so many Resident Evil games, actually. Like, I'd say when you look at the remakes, you need to kind of know what you want to get into, okay? Like, I'd say, for example, and here's the thing. I am torn on Resident Evil 2, and for one big reason. I love so much. Okay, you know, fuck it. I don't want to play Russia anymore. Why am I getting into the Defender side all the time? Fuck that. Yeah, so basically, I really love a lot about Resident Evil 2. Like, there are so many aspects I think 2 does insanely well. Like, oh, welcome back. Oh, that sounds shitty. Yeah. Like, I think Resident Evil 2 is like one of those games where I think, especially on your first playthrough, like 80% is going to be amazing. It's like, they basically, especially if you played the original, it's like they remade everything in how you like think you remember it, but it wasn't like that. Like a good example, actually. So in the original game, like, you also had this main hall everything was structured around, but to get access to the second floor, like the first floor from the ground floor, is you put down a ladder, which was odd even back then. And then the remake just puts a stair there, and you're like, yeah, there was always a stair. Wait, there was never a stair here? The staircase feels so normal. Like, that's how good this is, in my opinion. And then, you know, let's just also talk about the mechanical parts, because it's like you have this really, really nice balance of, you know, because they kind of went and looked at the original zombies of Resident Evil and were like, how about we actually distinct them more from what came before? Like, you know, they are actually like really like heavy zombies, and you can't easily kill them. You need to basically to get pop their heads. So it's actually better because they have limb destruction if you just shoot their leg and they become crawlers, and you can walk around them. And it's like, oh, there's so much great, just so much good mechanical depth in how you use your resources. Or there's the whole, oh, you can board up windows and prevent new zombies from spawning in, and it's also kind of cool. And it's such a good designed game. And then Mr. X happens. Listen, I know everyone praises Mr. X. Mr. X is a fucking miserable piece of shit, and he's bad design, period. Like, let me put it like this. Yeah, if you're new to games or such, it could be dreadful because you're like, oh no, this big hulking thing runs past me. The reality is, you just go into a room and wait. Like, let me put it like this. You played 7 and 8, okay? They all had unkillable stalkers. The big difference between 7, 8 and Mr. X is, first of all, they were only in certain sections. Like, you had, I think Jack was it in 7 in the house. Then you had Lady D in the castle. But the key thing is, especially with Lady Dimitrescu, there were 2 major things about her that made her not a pain in the ass. First of all, she was only roaming the central areas. Point 1. Point 2. She never followed you inside of the side areas. Also crucial. So when you entered the side area, it was just you and the enemies of the side area. And third, she was slow. Like, you could actually be pretty close to her and she wouldn't attack you. But you need to actually stay in her vicinity for a while before she did the swipe. Meaning that, yeah, if you're new to the game, she was kind of a bit of a pressure on you people. But also, like, the one, but you could just run around her. Like, literally my streams of the runs in RE8 just evolved into, hi, Lady D, bye, Lady D, because it was just, like, blazing past her. She was a non-thing to a degree at some point. And that's fine, by the way. If you want to have this kind of character in the game, this is how you do it. I think you should do it like original Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, but we get to that. The problem with Mr. X is he is literally none of that, and he kind of just joins the game at the very end to ruin your fun. Because here are a few things. The main problems of Lady Dimitrescu and Mr. X are, well, they are not worth fighting. Period. The way they are designed, there's no point in spending any ammunition. Mr. X is in the remake, but in the original, he's just kind of like Mr. X in the original just shows up and that was that. In the remake, he just legitimately ruins a lot of the fucking remake. And even if you have the tools to deal with him, like. Here's the thing, okay? If you, because again, Lady Dimitrescu has no value in engaging. So, she is basically a randomized object of, can you maneuver around her? Mr. X, he's just a middle finger. Okay, why is Mr. X bad in comparison to Lady D? First of all, Mr. X is a lot faster than Lady Dimitrescu. Second, Mr. X actually follows you into nearly every single part of the police station. He is fast. And you know what the worst part is? Like he's fast, so you can't even get close to him. So he actually corners you. But also, very crucially, why he sucks the most is he's too big. Now, Lady Dimitrescu is relatively big. You know, she's pretty tall and has some. You know, everyone is kind of horny for her being big. Okay, but she never blocks away. There's like one area in Resident Evil 8 where she could block your way. And if you never opened it, like there's literally it's literally in the beginning to the you know, near the area of the Duke. Like the small hallway. And there are like literally 2 exits into the main hall. So no matter from which side she comes, you have a second door to go through. Period. There's always a way around her. They specifically designed her that there was never a moment where she could just block your path, period. Mr. X is so fat, he blocks your path. Meaning, you have to run away from him. And because there isn't really, you know, and because a lot of the level is looped, it means that, you know, if he comes up the stairs, this just sometimes means you now have to run up to the fucking, you know, the thing under the roof, onto the attic, run through the attic and down the other side. And maybe during that time he just loses you and shows up on the other side. So it's like, oh no, now run back through the attic because fuck you. And considering this is a game about, you know, strategically killing and leaving zombies around. Oh yeah, you also have to dodge zombies now. And, okay, but here's the thing. One of the main things why I think Mr. X is so bad, and I think if I ever stream Resident Evil 2 Remake, I will just install a mod that removes him. Because I just don't want to deal with him anymore. Or, you know, I just use the shit because you can unlock weapons that deal with him like in one shot. Period. You can do that. That's one of those things in Resident Evil series. Like, there are some power weapons that you can use that you just melt him. So what do? Basically, these weapons go and down him. He goes on his knee, and technically, the idea is, well, you can run past him. Did I say again he is so big he just blocks the path? Yeah, so if he goes down on the stairs, you cannot run past him. He's too big. He's too big in most hallways. Like, the only time this actually really works is in some, like, literal halls. And it's just like, what are we doing here? Why did everyone praise this as, like, the good big thing? And, like, I kind of hate that this has become, you know, the, yeah. And I really hate that this has just become the whole thing for Resident Evil now. Because I feel like they will do that again with Ashley Graham's part in 9. And I hope not. I hope I will actually enjoy it. And I really hope Ashley Graham is just, you know, not just the whole moveset of Leon Kennedy, but, you know, with less. And then, you know, you have to dodge a very badly designed stalker. And, yeah, I have my... Here's the thing. I don't hate the idea of, you know, big, semi-unkillable enemies that make you problems. But I think games need to solve two things to make them enjoyable. Either when they roam an area, it should be actually sensible for you to, like, they should be to a degree sensible for you to engage. Like, that's just a thing, you know? Survival horror games are about, you know, spending and gaining resources. So it's risk-reward. Stalkers don't have neither risk nor reward. again, I don't hate Lady Dimitrescu, but you could say her best part is that she doesn't interrupt you. And that's fine. I mean, I even like the fact that, you know, in Resident Evil 8, so Resident Evil 7, you actually go back to the house later. Like, I know this is kind of weird to say, but like, you first have Jack roaming the halls in some parts, and yeah, you avoid him. He's not really the hardest thing, you know. Jack is kind of like the precursor to Lady Dimitrescu. It's like, you know, you have to, he's kind of in the central area, and you go off into like basically the basement, and then you fight him, and then he's kind of just dead. And then you can come back later to the house, and it's more of a normal area, and it's kind of nice to just have this contrast. That's good. Lady Dimitrescu is also just nice in that regard. Mr. X is just annoying. And now we talk about the whole... You should actually get something out of it. Because, like, that's why I said the original Nemesis, like, from Resident Evil 3, the PlayStation 1, actually did this really well. Like, okay, first of all, as a lot of people point out, as in a lot of ways as a criticism, and I think at this point I will say, please do not talk about video games ever again, because you really clearly do not understand design. Nemesis being in scripted sequences where he shows up was good. Because one of the main things that Resident Evil 3 had was branching paths. So there were just points in the story where you could choose, do I go that way or that way? So there was a bit of replay value in where you go and how your story unfolded. But the crucial thing is that Nemesis was just something that kept showing up at some point, like, you know, a repeating boss. And he had some dread, but there was a very crucial thing about him. See, Nemesis, you could either run away from him, and that was just like if you want to finish the game fast, that was fine. Or if you knew the mechanics, you could fight him. That wouldn't kill him, but he would leave, and you gained parts to build a really strong grenade launcher. There was risk-reward involved in actually attacking the Stalker. And you know what's funny? A thing that I do think they never really mention again, because everyone was too occupied with the fact that after the first area, Nemesis is not a Mr. X Roma, and that actually is kind of better, if you ask me, in the remake. See, in the one area where he is a Mr. X type Roma, Nemesis actually is in a wider area. You can run around him, but also you can actually down him, then throw a grenade at him, and that actually loosens an upgrade from his back for your gun. So, oh wow, there's a reason to engage with the Stalker. It's not really that relevant, but it is there. And I think Resident Evil 3 Remake definitely should have deserved more time and money. But anyway, that's just my opinion. I just give credit where credit's due. Anyway. Oh, goddammit. God, so much Resident Evil talk now. And I was almost talking about Monster Hunter again. Now we still need to finish Frontier. We're like, over the last years, me and Agonia, we really got into Monster Hunter Frontier, and oh god, that game is good. It's so good, honestly. It's criminally good. At least send it F turned out good. Oh my god, okay, here's the thing. I did not expect it to be bad. I just was still surprised how good it was in the end. Like, let me put it like this. I do think Silent Hill F was like the right studio with the right author. It was just like someone at Konami knew how to make the right choices, because Neobots was basically the support studio for the Resident Evil games for like the last decade. So they knew, like they actually had hands-on experience in how to make, survival horror. And also they were, the ones that actually put in, that actually experimented with melee combat. Because, like, I know people overlook it a bit, and I do want to set up a community evening at some point for it. Resident Evil Resistance wasn't bad. That was their own project, and it was basically, I wouldn't say it's Outbreak. It's, one of those 4v1 games, but it was kind of fun because, you were like, one person was basically placing zombies and monsters in a, in the map, and then you maybe had some super abilities to, fight the survivors, and survivors had a few of their own abilities, etc. But it was still interesting to see that they had, the remake, the remake gameplay, but they also had melee weapons, and it worked so well to the point I'm like, why did that never go into like a spin-off title or so? Then again, I don't know how to point this one out. Hey, remember how I said in Resident Evil 2, you can only really kill zombies if you pop their heads? But also the best way to deal with them is shoot their legs so they fall on the ground and crawl. So the one thing I will keep pointing out is, why can't we stomp on the ground like Isaac in Dead Space? It's just a dumb idea, but like, you could just smash that head with a good, that zombie head with a good, kick. A good stomp. It's just, yeah. Oh well. I do kind of hope that, maybe,
Defensive position needed on the marked objective.
oh well. I think at some point I do want to play some more classic Monster Hunter again this year. Like, we have this plan for Generations. We'll probably
it's
just...
not a classic Monster Hunter, though.
It's still more classic.
I think I would argue everything after Try is modern.
Also free Ultimate?
The Ultimate, yes.
To a degree, you mean?
Yeah.
Why?
Explosion.
Blast damage, you mean?
Yeah. And you could even argue that the third generation was the beginning of modern Monster Hunter.
To a degree.
They gave you more mobility with the longsword, which it desperately didn't need.
Oh yeah, the fight. It's just like, is it like Hunting Horn underperforming? Better buff longsword. Like, okay, what are we doing here, Capcom? You know what? I maybe Generations and Portable Threat would be something I kind of want to get at. So those are fun. I mean, I kind of do want to play Try /3 Ultimate at some point, but I'm like, I want, I kind of want to stream Try at some point just to see like how many people would tune in and just be like, oh wow, yeah, I'm a girl. I don't know. I need to get data on that.
You need to falsify this very weird claim.
I mean, Worlds was to a degree, but it was definitely it was definitely like a very slow.
You could argue it's another step.
Yeah, I think World was probably the biggest step because they gutted the armor system for no reason actually.
And then they let you fast travel pretty much everywhere.
Yeah,
you didn't need, like, you could infinitely restock from your items that you have.
It's just to be clear, we like World,
Story good, combat not bad, I would say. I like some of the monsters very much.
but they definitely started making some decisions that did not help the series.
Yeah. Like the Cove Taroth fight was pretty boring and the loot system was ass.
I'm kind of amazed though that Kulf Taroth and basically every new mechanic they're currently introducing into the series is just something Frontier did, what they're doing it worse. I think the best quote-unquote iteration was still like the hunting styles from Generations. Like that, there you could actually argue it is to a degree a different system than Frontier.
Yeah.
And to a degree maybe
But
even
the same
better.
idea.
But yeah, it's the same idea. It's not a bad idea though. I actually really wish they would bring that back, but still.
Yeah, but Capcom doesn't want you to play Lala style because
They
they want everyone to play Elemental, even though the whole monsters they set up in Wilds are kind of not very vulnerable to elements. I mean, I kind of rectified it a bit, but if you need to patch it 1 year to get there, it's like, what are you doing, Capcom?
Yeah. Then again, by the way, I know that Try is probably not turning people to... I have my theory on why this happens, that people keep saying, oh yeah, I started with Try and now I'm a trans girl. It's like, I have a theory on why this happens, but it's a hypothesis. Yeah, a hypothesis slash theory.
No, that's not slash. Those are two different
Okay,
things.
I have a theory though.
No, you don't. It's an hypothesis.
I have a What is the difference between a hypothesis and theory? Those are synonyms.
You have a better school thingy than I do, and you don't know.
But you better look it up if it is or isn't. Yeah, I have an idea though. It's for everyone who wants to hear that. One is spelled longer. Yeah, it's actually the difference. That's true. If you are interested in the whole why did so many trans girls start Monster Hunter with Try. Okay, so basically, to a degree, this has to do with statistics, okay? You need to keep in mind that I know some people say, you know, okay, fun fact, I know I had one person tell me, well, it didn't make me trans. I'm like, are you sure about that? Because I had someone tell me that, and literally the next day they were like, okay, I'm actually questioning my gender now. It's like, Okay, the thing is just, this basically is when we talk about statistics, this is a statistical filter, okay? So, first of all, we need to look at the simple fact that when you're growing up and you're a trans girl, you usually are more socially isolated, usually, okay? And you usually do not share the same interests as a bunch of people in your environment, in your groups, which is, you know, not to say that everyone does that. Like, there's actually a pretty sizable trans community playing Battlefield, and so that was a thing. But on average, I would say there are a lot of trans girls who, when they grew up, basically were like, where am I going to play? Like, what console am I buying? And for a lot, getting an Xbox 360 or PS3 was just not appealing. Because, like, what would you do with Halo? You know, those are the guy games, and even if you know those were the guy games, you were just not interested in them. So, a lot just had a Wii. That's part one. The Wii was, on one hand, cheaper.
And also easy to get, because lots of parents wanted it too.
Cheaper, easy to get, like, again, especially if you, for example, live in more conservative areas. The Wii was just a phenomenon, so, you know, you could basically upsell it way easier to your parents, like oh, what do you want to, like, it's the difference between, do you want to get an Xbox 360? Fun fact, I didn't. I think my mother wanted to a few times, but we never did. Yeah, like, the Wii was ubiquitous. Like, a lot of people just had that. And I think, like, aside from the fact this was, like, one, that a lot of people had, I think for a lot of, especially, you know, positive trans girls, this was the actual primary console, because there were just more games on there you vibed with. Like, this doesn't mean, you know, you didn't play other games on, for example, PC or so, but the thing is more like, subconsciously, you were more drawn towards stuff like RPGs, etc. And frankly, back during that era, the Wii had more RPGs. Now, the thing is, now the big joke comes in with the whole, why are you playing a girl? Because the thing is, at some point, everyone just kind of wants to have, like, you know, one of those games where you can just make your own character and play and express yourself. And if you look at the Wii lineup, there really only was Monster Hunter Tri. And for a lot of people, this is more like, oh, this sounds fun. You know, it's not yet, it's still action, it still sounds engaging, but, you know, it's not the typical hoorah military bullshit. It's more like you live in, you know, you live with nature and hunt monsters, and oh, you can play as a girl. Oh, they actually look kind of cool in those armors. Oh wow, Kirin armor. That's what was the Kirin armor equivalent at Tri back then? I don't have them in my mind. Basically, there were a lot of cute armor outfits for girls, and yeah, you suddenly just have this filter of a lot rather played on Nintendo consoles to begin with. You know, because, yeah, there was Animal Crossing. There was, like, you know, Pandora's Tower, The Last Story, like a lot of RPGs. And then on top of that, you just were like, wait, here's a game that looks kind of cool, and I can, you know, play as a girl? Yeah, let's just try that. And suddenly you have just this overlap of, you just have this very natural filter of, obviously a lot of trans girls played Tri back in the day.
By matter of probability, you mean?
By matter of probability. They just get filtered through it. It's just like one of those...
In your time explaining said hypothesis,
yeah,
I kind of looked up rough definitions of it.
Okay.
So the hypothesis is a proposed explanation for an observable phenomenon, in other words, an educated guess about the relationship between multiple variables prior to conducting research or investigation. Which is kind of what you have there.
That is fair.
And a theory is an explanation for example, a natural phenomenon that is widely accepted. They're confirmed by many tests and experience, meaning theories are unlikely to change.
Then it's a hypothesis. Thank you for clarifying. But yeah, I mean, that's what I mean with, you know, I think you had a Wii, you usually had, let me just say, there was probably one JRPG, there was probably something like Animal Crossing, probably Mario Galaxy, definitely Monster Hunter, because, like, I think Monster Hunter was just the whole, people wanted an, somewhat of a maybe, you know, social-esque action RPG, and there was really just one you could play on the Wii. Like, Monster Hunter had, like, the whole market for itself. There was no way people would split there. And again, it had a character creator, which was also not that common on the Wii. So, the moment you have this, oh, I can make my own character and put, like, cute armor sets on them, who gravitates towards that, even subconsciously. And this is how you end up with a lot of trans girls having played Monster Hunter Tri back in the day. That is at least my hypothesis. It's just a statistical filter. Nothing more. But it's funny.
I thought to be because of Brawl. I hate Brawl. smashes stats since after melee.
Hey, at least you could make 2 black holes now.
That's true. I bought Try a long time later.
But I mean, you saw Lagiacros and were like, oh, it looks cool.
Yeah, it looked cool. And you fought monsters. And there wasn't a big dude on the cover. That sells a lot.
I mean, the dude was there, but just off in the corner.
Yeah.
Actually, that's actually...
It was like down on the bottom of the picture, but like you saw the character from behind, so you actually couldn't know. Like, I get the assumption, but technically you couldn't know.
You know what? That's actually a part I never thought about. The cover wasn't dudified, considering that this was also a trend and probably off-putting to a lot.
You know, you either vibe with the gameplay and you knew it from somewhere, or yeah. And
Yeah.
I don't like shooters in general. I play some of them with you, and they can be fun, but they're not mine.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably also, again, I think you're not even that alone in the whole I hate shooters, so... Better get some more dudes. You should put that dudes in quotation mark.
Is there a past tense for
Yeah.
dudes? A future past tense.
Have been dudes. There have been dudes. I mean, I'd say this is probably like kind of a thing for a lot of I'd say for a lot, but I think it also comes down to who owned what, because like, for example, the big shift why I'd say you see it more clearly in Try, even though I'd say a lot of people also had the previous, like, for example, I started with Monster Hunter before Try. And like, I played a lot of Unite on the PSP. Hashtag the claw. But yeah, the thing is just I think a lot, like, if you're trans, I think Monster Hunter is just a game that really you can gravitate towards, because it's very disconnected from a lot of things, I'd say. Like, sure, you have the Korean armor, which is funny. But I need to point out that the whole, oh, you had a bit of a sex, like, I don't think Monster Hunter was that sexualized, especially because the graphics were pretty low poly.
But you didn't know about the armors anyway if you didn't look it up
Yeah.
beforehand.
And you can have, and I do think one of the main things is like you disliked shooters, and also, Monster Hunter was ironically not very, not in a really gendered setting. Let's put it like that.
True, it was just a different kind of fantasy world.
And it was
And
also
you
not.
were a hunter, and you were expected to learn to protect the villages. Hunting monsters, growing stronger by defeating them and then building armor out of them. Also water. I like water.
I like water. Oh god. Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's just, I think it's just so removed from a lot of settings and expectations people have with that setting, that especially when you grappled with how do you present, it's suddenly like, well, you know what, I just my hunter, it's just how I want to play. And yeah, I do think Monster Hunter, especially back old Monster Hunter, is probably like actually not a bad indication for if someone is actually trans, because again, I think you just kind of there's a general pull towards that series and what it was back then. Also, struggle against overwhelming odds and succeeding doing it is like, what, that's kind of cathartic at that when you look at that. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, again, I played Unite before that, and then I introduced Agonia to Unite, and then she wrecked the whole controller. Because you just played too much.
Sorry.
I don't feel sorry. I could buy you a new one. This is the problem.
Yeah, but I like the controller.
I get
That's
you.
the first one I ever played broken.
Struggle. I mean, see, yeah. What is Rathalos if not a good metaphor for the...
I mean, Trivathalos had the funny thing that if it turned, you got a high amount of trash damage, but your hunter wouldn't be pushed back. Very terrifying.
Yeah.
Compared to now.
I really like the third generation. Ironically, more with Portable Third, but let's play that maybe.
I like Portable Third too, especially because of the farm.
So many good mechanics.
But no water. I want my water back.
That is the thing I really hate about 3 Ultimate, because like I think 3 Ultimate just flopped on some really key points. Like for example, okay, you cannot play 3 Ultimate with 2 Wii U's locally. It has to be 1 Wii U and 3DS's. What the fuck, Capcom? Just enable LAN mode for Wii. Why was there no LAN mode for Wii U's? This is so stupid. Anyway,
I mean, if I remember correctly, there was a story about Nintendo basically telling Capcom, we need something where people do not need to engage with the element system.
that's how Blast happened.
That's how Blast happens. I'm like, what, raw damage exists?
It's just
And
so
now
weird.
Capcom doesn't want us to use raw damage anymore.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just kind of weird. Anyway, the thing is just, I really wish 3 Ultimate was actually, the contents of 3 Ultimate with, underwater combat, but the farm and guild hall of Portable Third.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect.
That would have been the things they should have kept.
Yeah. That
The
would have,
underwater combat and the idea of the farm and guild hall of Portable
Yeah.
Third.
Guild Hall of Portable Third was so good. Holy shit, it's kind of unreal how good it was. But yeah, I mean, hey. Oh, sorry. I mean, at least for me, I mean, Rathalos is Rathalos. It's more like, I don't know, what's the final one in Alatreon for you? If you killed Alatreon, you can also overcome your gender dysphoria. As in,
Alatreon is kind of stupid, to be honest, but yeah.
Is it Alatreon or is it Elatreon?
Huh?
E from estrogen.
Oh.
It shoots you with HRT beams.
I think is it... I have way more memories about Kaidos. Or however you pronounce it in English. It's a giant deep sea baby that swam in a cave. It's now lost.
Can we also talk about the fact that Gobul needs to come back?
The paralyzing, flashing anglerfish.
Yeah.
It's anglerfish? Yeah, it should be the English version as well.
It's anglerfish, yeah. But, well...
Capcom doesn't really like most status effect monsters.
Yeah, that's just... It kind of sucks because, again, I think that's one of those glorious things about Old Monster, that they actually went pretty ham with a lot of old status effects and tried... This is why I like Frontier, by the way. They have some really interesting designs with that. Like, for example, there's more than one monster that puts stink onto you. Remember stink? That was actually kind of an interesting thing to have. Yeah. And otherwise, I'd say... and they had some good proto-wyverns as well. That was great. It's like, Frontier... You know, okay, so if you want to know what I say with proto-wyverns were actually like the original category for like Tigrex and Nagakuga and such. So the ones that had, you know, that were four-legged and had wings, but were actually walking on four legs. So the thing is, if you think about it, there are only 4 in the main series. 4. They're like some of the most popular monsters in the whole series, and there are 4. There's Tigrex from Freedom 2 / Portable Second. There's Naga from Portable Second G. There and then there is Barrier from Tri and Giginox. I think most people have forgotten Giginox, and hashtag justice for Giginox. They should return. We had enough Kezu. I like Kezu, but bring back Giginox. Come on. And that's it. That's it. We never got more. And they brought they just brought 3 of them back in World. Again, forgot about Giginox for some reason. And yeah. Meanwhile, you know, Frontier has one that literally creates frost around their tail and claws to attack. It has one that shoots bike with paralysis and poison around, like the status effects. It has one that is a gigantic fuck-off fish that just eats everything in its path and vomits it back at you.
Including stones.
Including stones. And it has one that is a gigantic whale that is a hunting horn. No, like, I'm serious. There is in Frontier, they have a monster on the rig of Tigrex that is a giant whale that doots like a hunting horn and gives you and itself buffs.
Oh, you only if you at the right distance. Otherwise it hurts you. Or it does nothing if you're too far away.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah, have a good one. See you around.
Night.
I should also not do too long anymore, but
yeah, not too long.
But yeah.
There are lots of cool status effects. I want the Zenith Blights back.
The lights were cool, yeah, but I don't think they will ever do stuff like that again.
Just give me Fire Blight. I want my Fire Blight.
That was fun. Burns off your health.
Including max health.
Yeah. That was cool, actually. Then you need max potions.
Maybe even some materials to craft them. Bring your skill into enough elemental resistance so that it doesn't affect you.
Yeah,
Or the normal Fire Blight then.
And then you have some like that do some Zeniths that do really strong how's it called? Just effects like poison, but because those you can actually, you know, circumvent the gameplay, that's the one you hunt first. So that was actually, I mean, hey, sleep is painful, but sleep also means one of those, if you play with friends, you can actually relatively easily
circumvent it, yeah. It's the same with Zenith Thunderblight. Where if it hits you 2 times, you're put into cardiac arrest and someone has to give you CPR.
Yeah, else you die.
For some reason that helps. It doesn't work in real life, but hunters are built different.
Literally?
Yep. They drink green juice and get better.
Ah, yes. Green stuff heals you. Notice how this was... You know, a green stuff you make out of herbs.
And blue mushrooms.
Yeah, anyway, remember how I said everything from Capcom was a Resident Evil game at some point?
Also, remember that the Japanese didn't really have much of a difference between green and blue, like it was the same thing for a while for them.
Yeah, a shade. There was a distinction, but there were shades of that.
Linguistically, there wasn't much of a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where I was going with this.
What? No.
Good luck in an alternate future where I didn't lose track of my thought.
Help? God. No! Did you do that? No. I am thinking, like, what?
You're thinking.
Yeah.
I'm thinking as well.
God damn it, thinking is hard.
I'm like thinking about if I ever find a dating game I like. Like, from the sales pitch alone, okay?
Okay, from sales visual, that might be hard, actually. You probably would need to actively look for that. I just...
Sometimes I can tolerate them, but I want to play more of them because the base idea is what I like, or I don't like the gameplay mechanics.
I get you.
So I'm mostly stuck with more like you're watching a story visual novel, which is fun too.
But you do want to have a bit more of the game.
A bit.
I really hope my finger heals well fast.
You keep it smothered in
Yes.
healing cream and petroleum jelly.
I don't really think I need to do that as much because to a degree it's just a nail that has to grow back.
True. But it still helps the skin.
That's true, actually. Have to see.
Also kind of feels nice. It's kind of like treating yourself a bit.
Bit.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. Yeah. Anyway, you're not really looking forward to a lot of games this year, right?
What?
Yeah, it's kind of a big one for us both.
Otherwise, no.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's also just like the ones in February, and that was kind of it then. I'm interested where this game is going because right now this is a black box. Oh, sorry.
Not nice.
I'm very sorry. Like, the best we know is that apparently in Season 2 we get the Little Bird, which is already in the Battle Royale mode. And then the devs were like, oh yeah, we bring it back to the main game. And everyone's like... And, that's about it, basically.
Sounds boring.
I mean, I guess
If
if
they
you
have
like...
the model, they can put it in there since whenever they had the model in here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more of a, you know, what is the map balanced around, and I don't think they think they want to just put onto certain maps and not all of them, which is understandable, but
That's
like...
fair, yeah. But maybe, just maybe, if you have a main game mode, you should design your maps around utilizing all of the things you're building, and then not doing like, ooh, but we have the Battle Royale mode where this would fit, but it wouldn't fit on any other map.
Yeah, I mean, the other weird thing that also was data mined, so I'm talking about unofficial things here. Whoops, sorry. Probably not ever getting into the creator program like this. Apparently, there was a data mine for a different MRAP for the so basically an armored transport vehicle for NATO, which is just like, okay, so why did you then release with just one model for both factions in season? What was going on here? Weird decision making is what I'm saying. Like,
Well, it could be multiple reasons, but we don't know.
yeah, I mean, maybe. They actually are working on like a second transport helicopter model for packs and stuff like that. So maybe that is still coming, but I don't know.
Oh, you won.
Yeah, we won. And the objectives.
And the E-dispenser.
The what?
The E-dispensers.
You know what? Maybe one day I should actually get into 3D work and then make like you know, a multiplayer shooter, and it's just you can only play girls. And it's like a really good character development. You can only make girls, and it's all trans jokes in the modes.
Yeah. And instead of E, you write epsilon.
Why?
Because it's...
But yeah,
because it's multiple E's. Epsilon is for the overlap of multiple E words. Electronic. Estrogen. And if you give me more time, I will probably find other words.
yeah, fair. But yeah, basically for this one, they apparently have a second model, so who knows?
Look, it's a car. They're working on another car.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of wish they would, you know, maybe swap that, because it's kind of dumb that we have the Black Hawk for both factions. Just with slightly different shading. Like, we have, you know, we have different main battle tanks. We have different IFVs. Different light transports. And then suddenly it's this... Okay, anti-air looks different a bit, but it's factually the same. Just yeah, they technically have different ones. Except for the transport helicopter and the... But maybe they do stuff. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what they might announce for the next season. That should be in like 2 weeks. I mean, we will see each other for this game again next week then. Otherwise, you know, have a good evening. Tomorrow is EDF. EDF. We're gonna keep killing...
Another word with E.
Estrogen Defense Force?
Wait, electronic, estrogen, earth.
Ah, you're onto something here. Anyway, hope you all had fun. Thank you being here and talking. It was nice. And yeah, tomorrow, EDF, and hopefully soonish there is my thumb is healed to the point that I can actually stream again. So have a good night.
You mean stream Neo?
Stream Neo again, yeah.
Because you're streaming right now.
It's stream Neo again. So yeah, have a wonderful night. Have a good time. See you all around. Bye.
Bye.